Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the 11th episode of the Naus cEDH podcast, the 100% no bias, truth only top 10 decks in cEDH. My name is Keen, better known as Varlas, and I will be your host today. Joining me, as always, is my co-host and friend, Adam, better known as Poppyphobia.
What's up, everybody?
Kevin, also known as Tashoop.
Howdy, everybody.
It's actually just the three of us today, but just because we are short-staffed, that does not mean we will have a shortage of bad takes, which is perfect because today's topic is the Naus 100% no bias, truth only top 10 decks in the cEDH meta right now. We will discuss what we, as individuals, think the best decks are right now, and hopefully come together to make the Naus top 10 list. But before we get started, I think we have a few triggers to resolve in our upkeep. Adam, take it away.
All right, so for our upkeep, to start with, we're going to shout out all of our high-tier patrons. Thank you to Usable Object, Cold Ramen, and Geo Justin, respectively.
Actually, I'd like to just make a point. Cold Ramen. We don't really want to give much to Cold Ramen. He's a Lucina main. We don't like those people around here.
I mean,
damn, dude, you're really smashing him a new one.
It's thanks to people like you guys that we can continue to do this show. And if you would like to become a patron and get the special perks that it provides, you can find our Patreon link in the description. In upcoming tournaments, I, Adam, will be attending Punt City August 27th and 29th in Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. Along with that, some of the Naus team will also be attending Oktoberfest November 18th through the 20th in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, Punt City has already sold out, but Oktoberfest tickets have just gone on sale for everyone. So grab your tickets and come jam some comp games with us IRL. The MLC is reaching its final games, and even though I am no longer playing in it, I will be casting all of them live for Monarch Media. So make sure that you tune in and watch the semifinals and finals matches and support your favorite content creators. I know us as a team are rooting for our good friend Kai. Good luck, man, and hopefully you can win the MLC.
Yeah.
In regards to content, we are also now available on all major podcast platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. We're also working on bringing some collaborations to the podcast in the future, along with some gameplay content very soon. If any content creators are listening and would like to join us for an episode in the future, please reach out to us through Twitter or through Discord. Speaking of Discord, please join our Discord. We have over 150 members now, and we are active daily. We pride ourselves on being one of the more community-driven content groups and love the feedback that we're getting from our Naus family. You can talk to us about episodes, get deck building advice, or just chat about your day. Link will be in the description if you want to join. We would love to have you there. And finally, don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, or write a review on whatever platform you're listening on. Share us with your friends and help share our content on social media, and join our Patreon if you'd like to support us even more. And with that being said, I think it's time to move to our main phase. So, for today's topic, we are discussing what we believe to be the top 10 decks in cEDH during today's meta. This is our 100% no bias, truth only opinions. But
no other facts.
No other fact. It's just, because honestly, they are just that. They are opinions. If we forget your favorite deck or you think we have no idea what we're talking about, that is okay. You can leave a comment or come chat with us about it in our Discord, as our opinions are always changing. So, for this episode, we're going to go around the table and start with what we think the best decks are and go one by one down the list until we've expressed our top 10 decks. This is because we think the very best decks are a little bit more universal. A lot of people kind of agree what the best decks are, and it's easier to decide. But as you go lower down the list, things start to become more muddy, more opinions get thrown out there, and a lot more hot takes are thrown into the mix. Then at the end of this episode, we're going to come together and make a list as a team and come up with the Naus top 10. Let's get started. So, Kian, what do you think the best deck in cEDH is?
All right, well, going along with the trope of you blue farmed the best deck in the format, well, that's my number one. Blue farm, you can't argue with it. It literally has tight. I mean, you could, but you're wrong, Kevin. Don't give me those looks. It has Thoracle Consult. It can play the grindy game with Tymna. It draws a ton of cards with Tymna and Crom. It runs Breach lines. It has Compact Savine Breach. It can run Necro FF. Bunch of good stuff. Four best colors in Magic.
I have the same number one as you. I also put Tymna Crom Blue Farm. I know that there's this trope, right, that we joke on the table or joke on the podcast that Blue Farm is the best deck and everybody says it's the best deck. I think it holds some value. I think that Blue Farm has kind of historically underperformed in tournaments, but I think that it still has the most top 16s out of any deck that exists. I think that its grind value is really, really strong. I personally like a deck that has tons of different ways to win the game in multiple different facets. I think Blue Farm really fits that bill well, and I think that it can use its commanders as a value engine outside of just trying to win the game, which I think is really needed in a meta right now where it really seems like you're either playing. It's the meta right now is very generic. It's you're either playing turbo, mid-range, or stacks, and there's no in between. And I think that Blue Farm fits perfectly in that mid-range bill, and it's one of the better decks that does that. Kevin, what's your number one?
You're gonna hate this. I put my lady Najila number one. I think so. My number one priority when I'm looking at a deck for quality is one card win conditions. And when I say one card win conditions, I mean not your commanders, not your companions. The cards that you have to look for in your deck. How many cards do you have to search for to win the game? I put Blue Farm as 2, we'll get there, because of Intuition. Intuition to me is disgusting, and it's a one-card win condition. However, Najila runs like 8 one-card win conditions because all of them tutor Derevi, and you have a commander that wins the game without combos. You get fully hosed, whatever, bonk. The bonk potential to me is a huge backup that is better than just raw value because it wins the game as opposed to drawing you cards that might win you the game. And as much as I love Blue Farm, 5 colors better than 4 colors.
You're just saying this because you want to play green.
I love green, but I think 5 color. I think not putting a 5 color deck at the top is a mistake, and I don't see a reason that any other 5 color deck is better.
I think that's a fair point, but I think that you do lean heavily on a commander-centric strategy with Najila. And I think that saying that tutors count as one-card win conditions because you only need 1 card to win the game is not a fair evaluation, right? Because, sure, any tutor goes and gets you Derevi, but that's still 2 cards. You still have to tutor for Derevi, right?
Yeah, but Intuition wouldn't count then either, because Intuition only gets you Breach, which then...
And I don't consider Intuition...
We never said the Intuition's a one-card.
I don't consider Intuition a 1-card win condition. I think Intuition is a 1-card assembler, right?
Well,
so,
same thing for me. Words, whatever.
Which is where I think that, that's where I evaluate...
Trying to define
How many cards, if you draw that card, does it say you win the game shortly after? And the answer to me, if 1 card can do that, it's a 1-card win con. IMO.
Okay. Well, I think we got... Or Adam, do you want to debate Kevin's picks?
No, I think that, I stand by my pick. I think Blue Farm is probably still the better deck.
I stand by my pick as well.
It was hard for me. I almost wanted to do it too, but I wanted to rock the boat a little bit. Plus, my main logic was that other than Green Sun, all of those fucking Derevi tutors, they grab you Fish, which is a hell of a backup.
Yeah, I mean...
Fish is a wizard.
Being wizards doesn't matter.
Wizard cycling.
All right, well... Number 2, I think Adam and I have the same one. Razakats. So Thrasios Tymna. Razaketh is a very powerful. As soon as Razaketh got released, instant staple in cEDH. Reanimator strategies.
By Kevin's definition, it's a 1-card win condition.
It's a 1-card win. You totally don't need other creatures to make it work.
I genuinely, unironically agree with you. If you can cast it. Now, if you have to reanimate it or whatever, 2 cards.
Yeah, fair enough.
So, the Razaketh with Life and Death is really good. This deck offers a lot of compact win conditions as well, like Thoracol, Auriok. It also has ability to grind out with Thrasios game plan as well. I overall think it's a really, I wouldn't say balanced, but it covers a lot of bases. And that's what you want in tournament play. So like that.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said when referring to Blue Farm, I really like a deck that has layered combos and has a lot of them. I feel like Razakat's Tymna Thrasios Razakats is a deck that does that. I think that it has a lot of compact win conditions. It has a lot of not so compact win conditions, but it can win the game with or without Razaketh, and it utilizes those pieces very well for value outside of that, right? It can Bomberman draw its deck. It can draw its deck a multitude of any other ways with Thrasios. You can just Razaketh Oracle and win the game. There's a lot of ways to do that, and I like a deck that has all of those pieces. Kevin, what do you have for number 2?
My number 2 is Blue Farm. because I couldn't fit 2 decks into the number 1 slot. So yeah, I mean, we've already been over Blue Farm, pretty clear. You know, it's literally Blue Farm is either 1 or 2, and I think me putting it 2 is going to get me some flack. But you know,
no, I think it's fair. I mean, everyone's entitled to their opinion, right?
Yeah.
And so I think that that's like a fair analysis of where you think those decks stand in the meta. Yeah, I mean, I think that Timna Thrasios is just well proven. I think that it deserves to be, like, if you want to break down the top 10, right? Yep. You have like top 3, top 5, and then top 10, right? That's like what people care about. So I think that, like, yeah, I would still stand by Blue Farm and Razakets in the top.
I think not putting a Thrasios deck in the top 3 is true insanity.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which I did.
So I'll start with number 3.
Okay.
Because I think that my number 3 might be very different from your guys's.
Okay.
For number 3, I put Cody Turbo Naus.
Okay.
I think that this deck is one of the strongest decks that are out there right now. I think that everybody knows what it does, and I think that everybody understands what its game plan is. I think the deck is just so good at implementing that plan that people can't really stop it. You know, I think that it's a commander-centric strategy, but it can still do its thing without needing its commander. It can still Turbo Naus, it can still go off, it can still do breach lines and win the game, and in any other way, it can still just Thoracle Consult, right? And I think that the consistency of the deck of just being able to try to win, and then try to win again, and then try to win again, and the interaction package that it's built with, it's very strong, and it's very hard to say that it hasn't shown its power when you look at like the tournament meta. Kian, what do you have for number 2 or number 3?
I have Teamer Pirate, so Tana Malcolm. I think this deck, a lot of people were sleeping on it to begin with, but more recently, I think it's been getting a lot more traction, at least in our play group. It offers very tight and very compact Glinthorn lines, where like the game plan is turn 1 Dork, turn 2 Malcolm, turn 3 attempt to win. With Glinthorn, you can also do Niv Curiosity, and then it offers green for Creature Tutors, Eldritch Evolution, you know, Neoform, a bunch of other good stuff. So
yeah,
I think it's very consistent, and not a lot of people can answer creature combos.
I really like Teamer Pirates. Yeah. I think like
same boat. It's my number 3.
Oh, it's your number 3 as well?
Yes. So for the same reason that hell yeah, brother. For the same reason that I jerk off Najeela, Teamer Pirates is the same thing. You have all these bullshit green tutors that go grab you a bowl that's like, fuck you, I win. Right? And the reason I rated Najeela so highly is the same reason you rated Teamer Pirates so highly. It's a deck that can play 2 creatures, one of which is your commander that you don't even have to look for.
Yep.
They're both 3 mana, which is cheap as fuck. And then you're like, I present a win. All your counter spells say non-creature. GG, have fun.
Yep.
No, I think Teamer Pirates is really strong. I think that you take a already good deck, which is It Pirates, and you give it creature tutors and lots of them.
Yes.
All of a sudden,
Bonk.
that deck just gets taken to another level.
Yeah.
I really like Teamer Pirates. I think it's really good. I just think it's not proven yet.
So I agree with you, and that's why last night when I was arguing why I think that it's one of the strongest decks in the meta, I'm sticking my guns to it. I think the deck is underplayed, even though it is currently played quite a bit. My best example is I saw I forgot who it was. I was playing Spell Table with some random dude, and I think either I played a Trinisphere or someone else did, and then the dude legitimately won through a Trinisphere because he made so many goddamn treasures every turn. He didn't even Glinthorn. He just played so many cards that dealt damage and made treasures that he won through a fucking Trinisphere.
The value pieces in the deck are really fun.
Yep.
Like when you consider like the ability to run things like Ketis and just make more treasures, and then throw things in the 99 like Niv Mizzet and just be like, oh hey, it's Secret Commander.
Niv's funny.
Yeah, like shit like that. Like I really like that those Pirates deck do that. And like
I think Malcolm's just
That's
really good.
it's a good
Like-
card. I'm surprised that like people like didn't for the longest time didn't really consider Malcolm as like a great deck. And it's definitely proven itself. But like I said earlier, me personally, I just don't think it's proven yet. In the tournament meta, I just don't see Teamer Pirates doing as much as it can. Whereas like I picked a deck like Cody because it's won major tournaments and then continues to place in major tournaments.
Yep.
So that's something to me that I value a lot as tournament play.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. I like the modularity of it. Like you mentioned, Niv Mizzet Curiosity. Like, let's say whatever reason your Niv's gone or you can't get it right. Like, Curiosity still does something with all these cards that deal 1 damage. So like, you can kind of take any one piece and staple it with any other piece, and you still got a pretty good combo. It may not win the game, but like draw 8 cards is pretty good sometimes.
Yeah.
And then Eldritch Evolutioning Tana into Niv with Curiosity hand.
Disgusting.
Pretty good.
Disgusting.
I think it could prove itself in tournament play, though. A lot of people like to stick to the 4-color good stuff or 5-color good stuff because it has a lot of coverage to it, and they don't want to stick to like the linear game plan. Because when someone sits down with Tana Malcolm, you know what they're gonna do. Like Glinthorn or Niv, when you sit across from like Thrasios Vile Smasher or something, you're like, what iteration is this guy on? I don't know what he's doing. What do I need to stop this guy?
4-color piles.
You get what I'm saying?
You can procure your game plan.
Yes.
It's like everyone jerks off Kenrith, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what the fuck they're doing.
No, they don't.
Yeah. For number 4, Kevin, what's your number 4 deck?
Oh, my number 4 is Razakats, because, again, I couldn't fit 4 decks into the top 3. I mean, I'm big on TNT. You're going to see Thrasios a lot in my list. Yeah. I had a really hard time. I originally just had TNT, but I was like, wait a minute, fuck, there's like 11 different decks. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't personally like Raza that much, but I know that it's
Thrasios is in your top 4, but not your top 3.
I said...
You're insane!
I said that. But yeah, like... I don't know. I don't like Raza as much, but I recognize that it's really goddamn strong.
It's bonkers.
It's bonkers, and like you sack your lands to tutor for your Thoracle, it's kind of brain dead.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good. For my number 4, I put Dawnwaker Thrasios. I think that this deck is the epitome of the mid-range strategy. I think that this is like the mid-range deck, and I think that it does a really good job at being that. It really thrives in that type of meta. It has layered combos. It has a lot of layered combos. And I just enjoy playing against it. I enjoy playing with it. And I think that it's just a powerful list. And it's starting to prove itself in these tournament metas and starting to place very highly in a lot of these larger scale tournaments, online and in person. And personally, I'm just a big fan of the list.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's good.
My number 4, I have Cody. Adam basically covered my thoughts on Cody. Very consistent. Can win without Cody. Even if stopped, it's pretty resilient. Can literally add Naus, and I've never seen Cody add Naus and lose.
Yeah, it turns add Naus into like a peer. Like you're just drawing half your deck at that point.
For me, for Cody, I think I'm with you guys. It's unbelievably strong.
Yep.
But I think it's so fragile that I just can't respect it.
I disagree. I don't think it's... I mean, yes, it's fragile if, like, the Profane Tutor or whatever gets stopped, but they still have backup plans.
I think if you're a poor pilot, you make it a fragile deck.
Yeah. Maybe AJ has skewed my understanding of the deck.
What do you mean? Yeah. I literally strip mined him. We countered Cody, and then someone played the oof. And then he still won that game somehow. I don't understand.
How did they do this? When I sit across from Cody, I play one Nullrod, and they're like, oh, and they just lose the game every time. That's my experience. So I'm low on Cody, though.
We're greedy players.
Yeah. Yeah, right, I think I've heard Sick Robot say it, that like Cody is good at doing 2 things. It's good at winning the game, and it's good at stopping you from winning the game.
Yep.
So like as someone who says like I value like tournament metas, if Cody's not winning, it's drawing. Because it's stopping you from winning long enough for the game to go to time. It's packed with so much interaction that it's really hard to win over a Cody. So I think it just does really well. I have it rated higher, but obviously I can't get mad at you putting it at number 4. For number 5, I put Teamer Pirates. I like the deck. Okay. I said I like the deck. It had to be in my top 5. Mm-hmm. I just wasn't going to put it in that top 3.
I got a boring one. It's Dawnwaker Thrasios. So, I mean, we're all kind of on the same boat, right? Like, I think that Thrasios is a fucking good card. It's one of the best commanders ever printed. And there's 3 general styles. There's Go Find Thoracle. There's I'm going to draw a lot of cards. And then there's I'm going to draw infinite cards, right? I think of the... Like, I wanted to put Vasher's green CST. Yeah, because it's nasty. It runs like 3 or 4 infinite mana combos. Yeah. But why would you do that?
It's basically Dawnwaker.
Yeah, I was like, Dawnwaker's kind of just better. Like, you get red, which gives you Deflecting Swat, which pretty fucking good card.
And Breach and
yeah,
other
but
things.
Well, they don't play Breach and Dawnwaker.
No. So, I if I had to pick an Infinite Mana Thrasios list, it's Dawnwaker, and here it is.
Okay, my number 5 is Najeela stacks. I think
You put Najeela stacks?
I put Najeela stacks. When I think stacks, I think a disruptive piece with attackers, right? Because you want to have that clock there, and you want to have the disruptive elements that stop your opponents while also having the ability to kill your opponents. Where you're not just sitting there like, oh, okay, hopefully you don't remove my null rod. I can win in like 20 turns. No, Najeela is so good in going. All right, like turn 2 Najeela, turn 3 have 4 damage.
Yeah.
And then the multiplying damage. Yeah, I don't know.
It's exponential scaling. I'm with you. So,
Yeah.
that's part of the reason I put Najeela so high is because it's so fucking funny when someone, like I'll play turn 1 Najeela, right? And then someone else goes, rule of law, have fun playing Thoracle. And I'm like,
It's like, okay.
2 to the power of 2, 2 to the power of 8. Have fun, buddy. I'm going exponential.
Yeah, and also, I know this deck just got to the Brewer's Corner, but I think that it could, like, with more meta-specific calls, I think it could do really well in a tournament, which is why I put it on the list. I think out of all the stacks decks, this has the most potential to win a tournament.
I think what's really funny is like listening to our top 5. Our top 5 between all of us includes either Blue Farm, Tymna Thrasios, Cody, Thrasios Bruce, or Teamer Pirates, or Najeela. So we have like 6 decks that
Top 5.
Basically
are
the
top
same.
5. Yeah.
So, like,
Which is-
you're not as big on Najeela, I'm not as big on Cody. I think we're both probably crazy for putting down 2 really good 5-color decks. But, like, those 6 decks are probably in the top 5 somewhere.
Yeah, I think it's telling to how we think as a play group when you have like such little variance between your top 5. And what you guys as the listeners might not understand is that we did not discuss our individual top 10s until right now.
Right now.
So I sent everybody this prompt and we all came up with a list of our top 10 favorite decks. So it's interesting to see that the top 5s are so similar, but this is kind of what we were referring to earlier when we said that the best decks are kind of more universal. A lot of people agree on what the best decks are. To get into the muddy stuff,
Oh,
number 6.
boy.
My number 6 deck is Kenrith Midrange.
Okay.
I like Kenrith. I like 5-color lists. I think that 5-color lists are good. I think that sometimes they're too generic. So I didn't want to put a Kenrith list in my top 5 because I feel like it doesn't have a real goal because it does so many things, right? Mm-hmm. But I think that doing so many things, you're a jack of all trades, master of none, and you're just going to win games by being able to. And I think that Kenrith is the best deck at doing that. Kenrith can just win games by doing the thing. And so I put it at number 6.
Nice. I put Kark Sakashima. As much as people hate this deck and hate like the players that play it and make them sit down and resolve so many dice, Kark triggers, the deck is good. After it gets 3 copies of Kark out, it just goes nuts. Because your interaction points with the deck become
Increasingly narrow.
Yeah, decrease the more Karks.
Yeah. Bullshit flips happen.
Fucking flips, and then they can go, oh, bolt, bolt, bolt. All right, I destroyed every single creature on the board. I'm just going to go off now.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
I think Kark Sakashima is good, right? Like, it has the same frog problem that, like, you let it go one step too far, and it just fucking ends the game.
It's
Plus
not even
it has
if you
blue.
let it go one step too far. It's the same problem as Frog is once it's on the battlefield, they're going to start the thing.
Yes.
So if you don't stop it before it gets on the battlefield, there's a good chance you've lost.
The point of no return is fucking behind you,
Yeah.
and you missed your window.
You can just cross your fingers and hope they're really unlucky. Like, come on. Come on.
Yeah, right? And even that's not a good strategy.
No, it's not.
Because, like, they still usually have a win through it. My number 6 is a bit weirder. I like First Sliver Food Chain. So, I know I'm fucking crazy here. I played the deck, and I felt like I had the power of the sun in my hands, and I kept dropping it. It's a strong deck that, as I said, it has a lot of 1-card win cons, right? Like, both Tainted Pact and Demonic Consultation grab you your food chain, and on the way, they usually are going to grab your Squee, right? and you just fucking win. Like,
or your Thorkel and Praetor's Grasp.
you don't give a shit. You just need brain freeze, right? Because you cast a Food Chain Man a million times, and then you brain freeze, and then you fuck win the game. And he casts it from your deck for free. I don't know how good the deck actually is, but my experience is my couple times playing it is it's insane, and I've seen it played, and it seems insane. Maybe I'm fucking wild here, but I like it as a 5-color deck because you back up. You've got the same bullshit as Cody, right? You still run all the fucking easy A plus Bs. You run a worse version of Blue Farm. You run a worse Blue Farm with the upside of oops, I Food Chained you, goodbye.
That's a very interesting take. I think that First Sliver Food Chain was the best Food Chain deck until they came out with the Rocco. And I think that being the best Food Chain deck does not make you a top 10 deck. Food Chain is one of those combos that I think is just somewhat behind us as a meta. I think it still wins games, but I think it's very it's too slow, to be honest. It's too slow, and that's just my opinion on it. You don't see Food Chain very often. I mean, you see it now because like Rocco is really, really popular, and Rocco's kind of solved at this point. Like people have figured it out and broke it, but like. Yeah, I personally, I play against Food Chain decks when I see like a guy that has like a Corval deck from 3 years ago, and they're like, "Hey, check out my cEDH deck," and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool," you know,
or Prosh deck.
Prosh.
You still get Intuition, you still get Breach. I can get Solid.
Yeah. I think First Sliver is better than Rocco Food Chain.
Yeah,
personally, because it's 5 colors. You get.
Yeah, but like Rocco just kind of like gets you there.
So does First Sliver.
But it's also Wooburg.
So you have infinite mana. Again, spicy.
You just need Food Chain plus Miss Hologriffin and Internal Scourge. You get Squee. You get to run Miss Hologriffin, which you can in Rocco.
Do you have First Sliver Food Chain as your top 10?
No, I don't fucking know. That deck is like top 15 or something.
That's not bad though.
No,
I think 15 is pretty close to 6.
Maybe I'm giving it too much.
I think
wasn't
20
even considering First
It has a top 20
Food Chain whatsoever.
All right, I don't know. 5 color good.
Number 7, Kevin.
My number 7 is TNT, Tender Consultation, Midrange. So just like how you like Kenrith as a midrange deck, I personally think that losing red hurts, but having 2 commanders that are much more grindy than Kenrith and much more reasonable to get out, it gives you the same bullshit Thoracle plan that every other fucking boring TNT deck runs, except you also get to run just like value pieces like Training Grounds, right? So in your generic high color mid-range draw a bunch of cards but not infinite cards, I like TNT the most.
Adam?
My number 7 is Kark Sakashima. I like Karkashima. I think people don't like it because of poor pilots on the deck. I think that the deck itself is way too good and wins way too many games. It just the triggers make it take a while to get there, but it's going to get there. They're still winning on turn 4 or 5. It's just you have to wait like a half hour for them to resolve the triggers for them to get there. Yeah, I think the deck is just too good. And I think that it's proven on the tournament circuit, and I think it continues to prove itself in tournaments.
I think the reason people get upset with it is again, same problem, that it's fucking red, blue frog. It's won the game, but people are like, no, show me. Like, you could flip 138 tails in a row, do it. And it's like, dude, just fucking give up. He's won. like there's a point at which when they present the win, you should just go, okay, you win. Goodbye.
Yeah. What about you, Kian? What's your number 7?
I have Anala.
Ugh.
So, y'all know I play Grixis a lot. I'm on Rog's my boy. Rogsas is my boy. But honestly, I think Anala is the best Grixis deck. You substitute fastness with Rog for compact Spellseeker lines that not only yes, they win you the game. They can win you the game turn 1, turn 2, whatever. That's still pretty fast. But you also get the same Naus, Breach, Grixis, good stuff. I don't know. I just think that there's more combos added to this variant of Grixis than any other Grixis list. And that's why I think it's ranked higher up there.
I think that is the best part about Anala is that Anala just wins and then tries to win and then tries to win and then tries to win.
Yeah. It's Grixis, but you have Spellseeker to just fucking get there.
That's why
it's more than just Spellseeker too. It runs ways to recur the spells that you've already cast and ways to continue to keep going and to keep trying things you've already tried. Anala is really strong. Every time I see an Anala deck, their hand no matter what hand they've kept, it's trying to win. You know, there's a lot of decks out there that they keep a value hand, or they keep a hand that, you know, might help them accrue card advantage or whatever. No, Anala's hands just try to win.
Yeah, it's just straight gas.
Yeah.
All the time. Which is what you want from Grixis decks.
I like Anala a lot. I will let you know now, Anala did not make my top 10.
No.
I have a different Grixis list in my top 10.
Same, but honestly, my Grixis line, I could just literally throw one of like 8 Grixis decks, and like you could make the same points. So
yeah, they're very similar, and they do a lot of things the same way. For number 8, I put as my number 8 deck Winota Snowball Stacks.
Avalanche or Snowball?
Snowball. Avalanche is the
Non-Kiki.
The non-combo version, yeah. I really like Winota. I think if I'm going to put a Stacks deck on my list of top 10 decks, if I'm being 100% honest, I would probably choose one of Charles' Mono White decks.
Infinity on High.
Not even Infinity on High, but just like, I think that Mono White is probably the strongest decks that exist out there. The only problem is that you need to be a good enough pilot to make them work, and that puts them really low on my list. Comedian made a really good video last week where he was doing kind of like tier lists of what he thinks of monocolored decks, and his mono white decks were ranked the highest, but they were with the stipulation that if you don't know how to play stacks, these decks will not work for you. And that's how I feel when it comes to stacks. Winota, you do not know how to play. You do not need to know how to play stacks. Winota will do it.
Turbo stacks.
Winota will do it for you.
Yep.
It's commander centric. That's its biggest weakness, but it wins games. Like Winota will just get you there and just get you to win games. I think it's really strong, and I think that you don't even have to be a good pilot to get it there. So I really like it. Kevin, what do you have for your number 8?
Number 8, I had to put a Kenrith list on here, sadly. I went with Hermit Druid. There's a lot of good Kenrith lists. I don't know. I've played a lot of them, and I liked the Hermit Druid one the most. Same thing before. 1-card win cons. You have all this bullshit that gets out your Druid, and then once you got your shit in your bin, you know, you have... If you keep Breach in hand, you've got more fucking Breach lines if your Thoracle fails afterwards. I don't really know. I put Hermit Druid, but frankly, I just kind of... This is just my Kenrith slot. You can just fucking do whatever. I don't care. Kenrith is number 8.
For those of you that haven't figured it out, Kevin is the guy to say, well, this deck just has more colors.
I like colors, bro. More colors equals more.
How many? So you have Najila.
Let me go down my list. I have
Kenrith.
5 color, 4 color, 3 color, 4 color, 4 color, 5 color, 4 color, 5 color, 3 color, 2 color.
Okay, so you get some lower ones at the end, but still, I like Kenrith. I think Kenrith does deserve to have a deck in the top 10.
Yeah. I don't know which one,
does
honestly. He just does everything.
I think mid-range is a lot. I don't know.
Stacks works.
Yeah, Stacks.
He fucking does everything.
I think there's certain decks that do things better, right? So I think that like there's 4 color lists that just do Hermit Druid better. And then there's stuff like this. So like I really like Kenrith. Like you can say Razaketh is really good in Kenrith, right? Because he can reanimate. But also there's 4 color decks with dedicated slots for it that just work better,
and that's my problem.
Yeah, so I think that like it's fair to rank him lower because it does like what I said earlier, jack of all trades, master of none. Like you kind of do too many things sometimes.
That's my experience. Is that you get weird clunky hands that are just like one half of one combo and one half of the other combo. And realistically, like I put TNT Razakats, but I think like Razakats in general is very good no matter what commander you put that can run it, right?
Yeah, that can make it work. Yeah.
Same thing with mid-range, same thing with Hermit Druid. For me, this is my like Hermit Druid's around here, Kenrith is around here.
Yeah.
Speaking of Hermit Druid, I have Thrasios Vial Smasher Hermit Druid. So I think this is on the Brewers Corner or on the DDB, but I think this list is...
There is a version, I believe, on the Brewers Corner.
Okay.
The best version has not yet been associated with the database yet.
Yeah.
And I would argue that that's Gustav's list.
Sure. So I think Hermit Druid's very... we hate... I wouldn't say hate, but I know in a couple of our DDB episodes, we kind of shit on Hermit Druid for being like, if they just play Hermit Druid and we kill it, like that doesn't do anything, bad combo. But the more that we've at least talked to the community, they're like, oh no, Hermit Druid is pretty prevalent and it's a good win condition.
We've been proven wrong at this point. Like,
honestly,
we have to admit that mistake. Hermit Druid is gas, and we were just shitting on it for not.
I listened to you guys shit on Hermit Druid in my car, and I was like hitting my steering wheel like, what is wrong with you people?
Well,
Hermit Druid is
Yeah,
the fucking JoJo, like, menacing emoji. Just, like, the moment you play it, it's just sitting there like, uh-oh, the goes are coming out. Like, it's fucking scary.
Yeah, so with this deck, it gets access to... I already think Jund Hermit Druid is really powerful, because you can... I forgot the name of the card, but it's 1 and flashback, shuffle 3 cards back on top. It's green.
Oh,
so,
yeah.
So it's not Shredder Memory, it's a green one. So you can do that with Breach Lines, but with this, you get to do that with blue. So that means backup. You also have access to Thoracle, Shredder Memories. Also, you just get to run Thoracle, Consult, Breach, 4-color Garbo nonsense, as well as being a Hermit Druid compact combo line. I think that... What?
I'm kind of with you, though. Honestly, yeah. Like, again,
Sorry,
if your Hermit Druid fails, you got Breach in hand, you're like, whatever, I have all these fucking cards in my band, I'll just play them again.
It was a distraction to, it was a distraction while you, got the Thoracle Consult in your hand.
Exactly. Adam?
All right, number 9.
Number 9.
Burger King foot.
Number 9, Burger King foot lettuce. For number 9, I put a Hermit Druid deck. I put Timna Thrasios Hermit Druid. Like we said before, we were definitely mistaken. I think that, I put it so low because I'm currently building a Hermit Druid list. I don't know enough about Hermit Druid yet, and we don't see it a lot in our meta. I think it's proven itself a lot in tournaments and
we
things
just
like
don't
that.
see it at all. So we're
we don't experience it personally. So that's where our this is where the no bias comes into play because I respect the deck, I respect the combo. It's just it's something that I don't have a lot of knowledge of. So
I've seen it a couple times online. It does well when it works. I mean, hell, fucking what's his name plays it in our meta.
Who?
I don't remember, but
nice.
Good card.
That guy.
All right.
What do you have for number 9?
Hold on. The only times I've seen Hermit Druid go off, they flip their deck and then they lose. Like that's from my personal
That's a dog
experience.
shit player. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, we also the only time we've seen Hermit Druid is also Grolnok decks, which we think suck anyways.
Well,
and
I've seen it on spell table and stuff, which I know those are not the most optimal pilots. Anyways. On to number 9.
My number 9. So this is just generic Grixis deck. I mean, it would have been a good pick, but I went with Armix Crom, specifically because I like the Armix. I think Armix is really strong if you have a lot of creatures in your meta. And my experience is playing against Grixis decks. I play Oof, I play Dranith, you fucking lose, right? So
already got Rog out.
My point being, having a commander that deals with
those pieces,
those annoying creature pieces, I feel like it helps shore up the weakness. And while you get to stay compact, you only have 3 colors.
Especially while not needing combat to win. I
Exactly.
think the biggest downside is if you have a deck that relies on combat to win, you can't go to combat to remove some pieces because you need to save your combat step for your win attempt. Whereas with an Armix deck, or at least most Armix decks that exist, you're not winning in combat. So you go to combat, remove the creatures that are stopping you from winning the game, and then win the game in your second main phase, which I think is really strong.
Yeah, I mean, I like Armix a lot. I mean, you've changed my mind on Armix, and if I'm going to put it with anyone, it's fucking Crom.
Yeah.
Armix good.
My number 9, I've been playing this deck a lot recently, is for Timna Tana 4C Hulk. I think that this deck has a lot of avenues to win. It can go with Kiki lines. It can do Hulk lines with Kiki. It has Leonin Relic Warder loops with Mayhem Devil. And it has the ability just to grind out and play like a Archon of Emeria or a Deafening Silence and just go to beat town with Timna. It's a juiced up Blood Pod with a lot of other combo. So I think has good coverage.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you. I mean, I really wanted to put a Hulk deck, but I didn't know which one. So, I don't know. I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
All right, for number 10, I put my Grixis pick. And for my Grixis pick, I put Silas Rog. I think that Silas Rog is probably...
We're on number 9.
Number 9, bro.
We just did number 9.
We did number 8.
No, we didn't. Number 8 was my Winota pick. What was your number 8?
Hermit Druid?
Yep, you already
Kenrith.
said that.
What's your 9?
My 9 was Timna Thrasios Hermit Druid.
Okay.
He went first. That's right. You're
Yeah.
going.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
tripping, sorry.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Sorry. I was gonna say I know I'm not tripping here.
What?
Yeah. So for number 10, I put Silas Rog. It's my Grixis pick. Kean's dancing in the corner because that's his baby deck. I think that it just does Grixis really good. I think that it's the Grixis deck. I think it's the deck in the entire cEDH meta that if you're trying to win first, this is the deck to play. I think this deck's always going to try to win first.
Yeah.
It's always going to try to be the first one to go off, and it's always going to be the one that makes you have it. Even when you do have it, and you feel like you've stopped the deck, it's going to sneak up from behind you and drop a Pier or drop something else that you didn't see coming, or drop a Necropotence or a Doomsday or whatever they are running. That's another win condition. That's a 1 card win. Those are true 1 card win conditions, right? So I think Silas Rogg does a really good job at doing that, and it can sacrifice certain things like convoluted lines or lines that require a lot of pieces to do things like, oh, I'm just going to Necro for 30, Final Fortune, win the game, or shit like that. So I really like Silas Rogg. I think it's really fun. I think it's one of the cooler Grixis decks, and I don't think it's as fragile as people make it out to be. What's your number 10, Kian?
Mad Farm. Jessica.
Now that's fucking wild. Holy shit.
I think Jessica Timna. Yeah, you guys are giving me the look, but I think this deck has not only good coverage, but it can also play the grind game with Jessica and ping all the little dorks. Like, especially with Thrasios decks, they rely on their creatures, their mana dorks, their creature, Malcolm, whatever. Goodbye. It has access to Turbo Game Plan with Naus, Compact Auriok, Salvager Lines, Pure in the Abyss. I don't know. I just think that it's a good 3-color deck.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of low on Mardu in general, but that's just me. So my number 10 is Winota. We've already kind of talked this one over, but I had to put a Stax deck, and I'm with Adam that Stax decks are hard to play. I wanted to put my Dear Piggy up here, but frankly, I think that it requires too many brain cells with a total of 8. Winota requires a negative amount of brain cells because it's just Najeela, but fucking even less brain cells. You just swing your boys and have fun.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that.
I think that covers our top 10 here.
Yeah, I think that in regards to like Jessica Timna, Jessica's like the same thing as Armix. It's just a good thing out of the command zone that does the same thing as Armix in a lot of ways. It's just creature removal in the command zone. That also is your combo piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also an outlet. So moving on to the flavor text of the week. For all of our new listeners out there, the flavor text of the week is where I, Kian, try to stump the Sad Naus team and you, the audience, with different cards, flavor text throughout Magic's history. So for this week's flavor text, we will do 1 flavor text for us as a group to try to figure it out, and then 1 flavor text for us for the listeners at home. As a reward, whoever gets the flavor text correct in our flavor text channel in our Discord, make sure you use the spoiler tag. We'll get a standard pack. And so yeah, no using Scryfall. So for the cast's flavor texts, I have: it wants to remain a mystery, banishing the curious in favor of less inquisitive company.
Read it again, please.
It wants to remain a mystery, banishing the curious in a favor of less inquisitive company.
Blue. I'm guessing it's blue.
Is it not curiosity?
Nope.
So I don't know it right away. Is it a creature?
Nope.
It wants to ban the curious. It's a removal spell. Is that correct?
Nope.
What?
It's not a removal spell. Is it played in one of our top 5 decks?
No.
Okay.
So it's fringe. It's a fringe card. What is the text? They want to ban the curious. Yeah, why didn't you have this?
Keep it up. It's just something about staying anonymous or staying hidden.
Like he doesn't even know where the card
He's
went.
scrolling through a list.
It wants to remain a mystery, banishing the curious in favor of less inquisitive company.
Wants to remain a mystery, banishing the curious. So it doesn't like curiosity, which means that it doesn't like blue. What color hates blue? Black? I think black hates blue.
Black or... Yeah, it would either be black.
It's a colorless card.
Why do you always pick colorless cards? They're so stupid.
The enemies of blue are white and black, it turns out. I looked at a magic card. So it's a colorless card.
It's colorless.
The fuck? Oh, God, I don't know, man. It's not Null-Rod, I know that.
No.
There's not a ton.
Is it 3 mana and below?
Yes.
3 mana and below.
A colorless card?
Colorless card.
It's not played in our top 5 decks.
Is it a land?
Nope.
Okay, because they count as colorless. I have no idea what this one.
Does it make mana?
Not directly.
Oh, what the fuck?
Springleaf Drum.
No.
Paradise Mantle.
No. It's not a card that has mana on it, but it could make mana when used in conjunction with other cards.
It's the fucking the thing that bounces the boys. What's it called? Curio? Cloudstone Curio.
Cloudstone Curio?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You looked at my phone.
I literally did. I literally did. I was like, "What card does Kean like?" That's colorless,
that's like
3 mana?
one of the most. That's like got to be one of the most fringe cards in CEDH.
What do you mean, Dockside Loops?
It's playable. It's just
But like,
very fringe.
it is
Yeah,
very
it
fringe.
is
Not a lot of
fringe.
decks use
No.
Curio Loops anymore.
And then now for the flavor text for you guys at home. I tire of your prattle and your face. Make sure you say your answer in the flavor text channel. Make sure you use the spoiler tag. Don't use Scryfall. If you use Scryfall, I will know, and I will send you bad juju on the pack that I send you. So, yeah.
Okay, so for the next segment of this episode, it's time for us to make a group list as to what we think the top 10 decks are between the three of us, as we are the representatives of the Sad Naus team today.
All right, so Godo, get raw, Godo.
15 Najila lists.
So let's start with the top 5 because I think those are the easiest ones.
Let's start with number 1. I think we can agree on Blue
I think
Farm.
Blue Farm.
Blue Farm.
My pick was wild, but honestly, I like it as number 1.
Okay,
I think the farm.
so in reference to our other picks, right? For number 2, I had Timna Thrasios. You
We
had
both
Timna
had-
Thrasios
Razaketh.
I had Razakats as 4.
as 4.
So-
You had Blue Farm as number 2, and you had Najila as number 1.
I think Najila needs to see top 5, but I'm okay with Razakats being above it, frankly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I agree with that. I think Timna Thrasios, Razakats stays
Number
at number 2.
So Razakats
I
number
agree.
2. So does Team or Pirates go 3 or 4? Or 5?
I think Team
we
or
put
Pirate-
Cody. at
I
three.
don't like Cody as much, but that's just me. I don't know. I feel.
I don't think that Teamer Pirates makes top 3.
I think Cody's at 3.
I have Cody at 3, but that was my personal list.
You have Cody 4, and I have Cody at like 12.
Yeah. I have.
You have
Pirates
Cody
3.
out of the top 10. I don't have Najila in my top 10 either, though.
What's number 3? I've also got Don Waker Thrasios here.
I have Don Ricker Thrasios as number 4.
Cody's above that.
Do you think so?
Yes.
I think
Okay.
that you have to put a turbo
I'm okay
strategy.
with putting Cody 3 if we put Team or Pirates 4. Or hold on. We need Najila in there, bro. Put the Najila up there. Well,
No.
you got one Najila 5th, and
I
I've
have
got
Najila
it first.
We can all be wrong.
I think you can put.
I would put Najila 5th.
I would also put.
I would put Najila at like 5 for top 5.
5. What
Yeah.
would you put 4 then?
I would probably do
Dawn
something
Waker
like...
or.
Well, I have
Teamer
Dawn Waker
Pirates.
in my top 5, and I have Cody in my top 5.
I have Don
I think
Waker
Cody's
top 5.
number 3.
I would be fair to say Blue Farm, Razakets, Cody, Dawn Waker, Najila.
I think it's crazy not to put Team or Pirates.
That's what I'm saying. I think Don Waker's below Najila. So I'm okay with putting Cody 3rd if you put
Team or
Najila
Pirates
4th, and I like Team or Pirates 5th. I think Najila's
And then
stronger
what?
than Team
Dawn
or
Waker
Pirates.
goes 6th?
I think that's reasonable.
I think Najila after Pirates.
Really.
I think
like,
Pirates is 4, Najila 5.
Interesting.
I think Pirates...
It's more linear.
I think I like Pirates better than Najila.
I do.
Really? You don't
Yeah.
like having the backup of 5 colors with a commander that casts both deflecting SWAT and blue deflecting SWAT?
No, because you're on Team or Pirates, you're more up on a linear line, and you don't require. I mean, you do require opponents technically, but if
I think they're very
the board
similar.
is-
I guess that's a
if
fair
the
point.
board is mucked up with blockers,
That
then,
is
then you
true.
can't get in with Drevi.
I'm okay with that, honestly. I think Team or Pirates is gas. And frankly, the fact that you don't actually have to hit is pretty nice.
Yeah,
Like
it's
with
just on
Najila,
attack.
you do have to hit.
Yeah.
With Najila
So then
attack.
are we going... So what I'm understanding is Blue Farm, Razakets,
Cody.
Cody, Teamer Pirates, Najila.
Yes.
I'm okay with that. I think that's perfectly
Okay.
reasonable. That fits my categories.
Cody,
My agenda.
Your agenda.
Green agenda.
Teamer Pirates, and then Najila.
All right, for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
So 6, are we all in agreement? Dawn Waker Thrasios?
Yeah.
I agree, yes.
Okay.
It's 5 for me. I don't think First Sliver makes it. Really,
No, I don't think First
my
Sliver-
answer there really is less First Sliver and more just
Another 5 color.
general,
five color
generally
deck.
5 color shit. I didn't want to put fucking like Kenrith twice, man.
7, Silas Rog.
No.
No.
I think
7, I think either a...
Clark.
Mid range.
I think a Kenrith deck
I think
or Krark.
So my answer personally is Kenrith / TNT mid range. I think both of them do damn near the same thing, and they're both really good mid range decks.
I would rather put...
I'd rather put Krakashima.
Really?
No, I would rather put Kenrith mid-range. I think Krakashima goes below that Kenrith mid-range deck.
I would agree with that, honestly. So, I mean, I'm okay with putting Kenrith mid-range, but in my heart, it's still Tender Consultation. I like the deck with less colors, weirdly enough. I think Kenrith is too loose.
I think it would go Kenrith and then Krakashima, personally.
I think Krakashima is above Kenrith.
I'm with Adam here. I think Krakashima is slightly lower. I like 5-colored mid-range good stuff. It does a lot.
I think that we just encounter a lot of muddy Kenrith decks in our meta, where we have people that aren't playing maybe the most optimized Kenrith list, but playing because Kenrith allows them to play their pet cards or their pet combos,
which people do.
And it's totally fine. But what I'm saying is, like, when you talk about like in a tournament setting, in a tournament deck, I think the Kenrith decks there are much different than what we see.
Correct, yes. But Krakashima still has like more powerful.
A Kenrith deck just won the last play cEDH tournament. Krakashima hasn't won a tournament in months.
Technically, you know, there's some tournament rules regarding
no tournament. No tournament has banned it yet.
All right, whatever. Fine.
Okay,
5-color bullshit, whatever.
And then Krakashima.
Yeah. My only stipulation to this is you have to put Rog somewhere on this list.
No.
We have to decide yet what our Grixis pick
I want to put Rog at number
11. Coming in at number 9.
Cardiff range, and then we do Krakashima. Okay.
Rog. I'm not going to hate Krakashima. Did we make a stacks list on here at all? Because we're getting close.
We're at the point where I think stacks needs to come into play. We're at number 9.
I think 4-color Hulk. That's my vote.
I like 4-color Hulk. My problem is I think it's 11 through 14. It's like
I don't think it's enough dedicated stacks.
Correct.
I think
that for stacks.
I think that. What'd you say?
You don't need stacks in a Hulk deck.
Or you're not even calling it a stacks deck.
No.
Okay, so what I'm saying is that we have 9 and 10. I think you have to fit a stacks list and a Grixis list here.
Not
okay,
even
fine. Winota, Silas Rog.
I don't think Silas Rog, but I think Winota is probably 10.
I would probably rather pick Anala than Silas Rog.
I'm with you, actually. I like your Anala
So my pick?
So I like how the two of you flipped.
Well, yeah, but I'm thinking, like, your defense was right. Like,
Anala just has more stuff.
I think Anala just does more and attempts more.
However, I think that same thing for me being like, oh, Kenrith, it could be TNT consultation. I think here you could just put Grixis list, right? Like, they're all going to be about the same. It's just what flavor do you want to play?
Insert Grixis mommy here.
Exactly. I think Anala is probably the best one, but I still like Armix Crom because, I feel like it shores up the weaknesses of Grixis.
I mean, if they have creatures out, you should have won already.
Not always. I get turn 1 oof before you go. It happens. Feels bad.
Bounce spell.
So, yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Winota and Anala?
I'll put Anala 9, and then I think Winota 10.
I think Winota above Anala.
Really?
I think so as well.
Okay, fuck it. Send it.
The amount of times Adam has, like, absolutely decimated me with Winota by, like, turn 3. I sitting there, I can't play the game. You have 2 Thalias out, a rule law. I can't cast spells. I can only cast 1 a turn.
And they're not the spells I want to cast.
Spells I want to cast.
So right now, we can talk about if we don't agree with this. But right now, the iteration we have is for our number 1 best deck in the format, we have Blue Farm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our number 2 best deck, we have Timna Thrasios Razakets. And for our number 3 best deck, which might be the only pick that's kind of controversial to the audience, would be Cody Turbo Naus.
Yeah, I think that's our as a group controversial pick. I know that's not how other people see it.
I will still stand my flag up. I do not. I think Cody is a tournament deck. I do not think it is solid in just one game.
I don't think that people should play Cody like for fun. I think that deck sucks to play for fun. I think
it's a win deck.
I think everybody at your table is going to hate you, and not hate you, but they're gonna. It's not fun to play, and it's not fun for people to play against.
So it's less that you guys know about this. I played competitive Pokemon for a while. Every single fucking deck in that game, it's literally like, okay, 7 out of 10 matchups, I just auto win, and then the 3 matchups I don't, I auto lose. You literally could show up and be like, what's your deck? Oh, you're playing that, I lose.
So
or
I win.
Pretty much. And like, Cody does that. Cody brings Pokemon to Magic. It's like, oh, you're playing Cody, I have Nullrod and fucking Oof turn 1 and 2, and you're like, I fucking lose. I got Dranith and Oof, I lose. Like, oh, you guys don't have interaction?
There's a lot of decks that are like that, though. It's more than just Cody.
Yeah.
I think that's cEDH, though, because there's that 1 or 2 stacks piece that just hoses a majority of
It's all very matchup based.
Yeah.
Number 4, we put Teamer Pirates. That's another
I
one.
agree.
That,
I agree with
it's
that.
another one that other people might not agree with, but us as a group are really high on Teamer Pirates.
I think we've been having the Teamer Pirates
Fever.
like
Teamer fever.
We have
I
the Teamer
trained the
fever.
Teamer fever.
Teamer fever. Straight up though, come back in a year and tell me that Malcolm is not like, oh, I always knew Malcolm was the best. He was right behind Thrasios as the best. Just watch, dude. Malcolm's fucking disgusting.
Well, we're in this. This is the year of treasures, so like it does
Yeah.
make sense to have a commander that makes them very high on the list.
Corvold seething.
Well, I think it goes Timna Thrasios, and then
Next, we have number 5, Najila.
Pretty clear pick.
Number 6, we have Dawnwaker Thrasios. I think that list is still proving itself to a lot of people, but I think we're
not that high.
I think we're a little ahead of the curve with
Yeah.
calling it good right now.
Let me put it this way: you could replace that with green CST. Just Infinite Mana Thrasios is the number 6 spot. It's like make Infinite Mana go bear.
Number 7, we have Kenrith Midrange, 5-color good stuff.
Yeah.
Number 8, we have Karkashima. I think Karkashima, if you're going to pick low-color decks, it's one of the best ones that exist.
I think
agree.
that,
So-
that
I think
also could be controversial.
I think it's controversial, but like as a frog player, I think Karkashima is the best 2-color deck.
Personally, I kind of agree. I think that like if you're going to play 2-color, I think Izzet is one of the best
For sure.
combos you're going to play.
I was going to put Niv on my top, but then I was like, no, Karkashima.
Niv is good, but it's also just like Dranith just stops you.
I've watched too many fucking playing with power and play to win videos where Kark player just does dumb shit for fucking 30 minutes and then they like win.
Yeah.
Then number 8, we have Winota. I think you just need stacks representation on here.
That's number 9, right?
Or yeah, that's what I meant. Number 9. Number 9, we have Winota. I think you need stacks representation. I think right now Winota is like tier 1 stacks.
Yeah.
When you're talking about what's in the meta currently. So I think that's just a good example of that.
Yeah.
And then number 10, we have a Grixis representative, Anala. I think that you can play 4-color piles, 5-color piles, whatever you want to play. But Grixis is kind of always has and always will be around and is a top. It's in low color colors, right? Because I consider anything 3 colors and below low colors.
It's like mid, but it trims the fat, right?
Yeah.
Red, Blue, Black.
It takes blue farm, it trims the fat, and it makes it go fucking fast. It's nitrous.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's our list. Blue Farm Razakets, Cody, Teamer Pirates, Najila, Dawnwaker Thrasios, Kenrith Midrange, Karkashima, Winota, and Anala in that order.
In that order. 100%.
How many
No
ladies are on
bias.
that list?
How many
Truth
ladies?
only.
Anala, Winota, Najila,
Timna shows up.
Timna shows up twice. There's a
Timna.
lot of ladies on this
A
list.
lot of ladies on this list.
And a
Represent.
book.
And a
And
book.
Fuck yeah, keeping it non-humanoid.
Non 100. All right, that was our 100% truth. No
bias.
bias.
No truth, 100% bias.
No truth. 100% bias. Straight bullshit. I mean facts. All right, so that was a very fun topic for today's episode. Too bad we couldn't have 4 people on. We understand that subjective lists like this can sometimes be controversial in our community. Please keep in mind that we think that these decks are the best to be playing in the current meta. We don't think that any deck that didn't make the list sucks. Any deck that can win a game in cEDH, and it's more about who is the pilot. Any deck can win a game in cEDH, and it's more about who is the pilot.
Really struggling with this one today.
Who is the pilot that determines the outcome of the game. So play what you want and take this list as seriously as you want to.
Or not.
And if you have any of your own opinions, please share them with us. We love to talk about this stuff, but don't burn us at the stake for our shitty takes. But now that that's out of the way, let's play Feeding the Fish.
Yeah, it's like volume now, bro. He's just a Grixis player. Just turn that shit up.
Sorry.
For those of you that don't know, Feeding the Fish is a game we play in our podcast where there are 4 5-minute rounds. In this case, only 3. For each round, each person has 2 minutes to feed the fish or pick a topic and then defend that topic to the death on that theme of each week. The fish, or the rest of the podcast, have 3 minutes collectively to either agree or disagree with the defending speaker. All time is interrupted and there are no rebuttals. For this week's Feeding the Fish, we will need each member to pick one deck list that they think is underrated or unappreciated and could have made our top 10 list, but didn't for one reason or another. So, who wants to start?
I think that I will start.
Okay, I'll get a timer up. Bada boom, bada bing. Timer, and we'll set it to 3 minutes and not 3 hours like I did last time. Okay, it looks like we're doing 2 minutes instead. So, and 3, 2, 1, start.
Yep. So, like I said earlier, I would pick a mono white deck. I think if I was going to pick a mono white deck that I would want to make this list, I would probably choose, like, if I wanted to be like very generic, I'd probably choose Heliod Ballista. I think Heliod Ballista is a dedicated stacks deck. It is really high performing, and it just does the thing really well. I think if I wanted to be more controversial, I would probably pick like the mono white guy or Elvaldi's Infinity on high list. I think that list though requires such immense game knowledge that if you are not confident playing it, you will not do well with it. I've been on the deck for a few months now, ever since he top forward with it at Marchesa, and it's pure gas if you know how to politic really well and you know the opposing decks at the table really well. You need to know what game pieces impact the game in the most important way when you're playing stacks, and I think that that's where mono white has some flaws. But yeah, I would probably pick a mono white deck. I'd probably pick Heliod Ballista. It's probably the easiest pick. It's a safe pick, and I think that it really showcases the stacks archetype really well. And I think that it's very deserving of a spot in the top 10. If not the top 10, then definitely in like, if we extended this list to 20 decks, I think that you see a lot more low color lists really showing up and really deserving that extra spot. I think if you're going to pick monocolor anything, mono white's probably the strongest archetype to say makes the top tier of cEDH.
Yeah.
And that's my argument.
Okay, and that's his time. We'll do that, and then Ken, we'll have 2 minutes starting now. You can go for it.
All right. I don't really have anything to argue with you about. I agree that probably mono white's like the best monocolor deck from a stacks point of view, or just the best monocolor deck in general. I don't really have too much to add, Kevin. What you got?
I like Pig more than mono white personally. I think it takes slightly less brain power and is a better deck. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of with you. Your take's not really controversial. I think if we extend it to 25, a lot of weird decks are going to start showing up. I think there's a whole plethora of bullshit mono white decks. You know, you just had Heliod, but like, there's just all sorts of weird shit you can play. So, I don't think it's a too controversial take, but I think it would be low on the list of 25. I don't think it would be in the 15 to 11 range. So I'm good on it.
I really wish I could like say things during that.
Too bad.
I'll go next.
Okay, Ken, and 2 minutes on the clock.
Okay, so for the deck that I felt was, or the deck archetype that I felt was underrepresented in our list was Dargo decks. So I believe that Dargo deck, like it took a while. At first I thought that card was like absolute fucking garbage. Like what? Why would you want to play this? Then it's like, wait, he just combos with literally everything, and he's a 7/5 beat stick in the command zone. So I know there's the Jund Dargo list, but the Dargo list that I want to bring up is the Tymna Dargo list. This deck is absolute gas. Okay, so it has the Tymna grind plan as well as being able to combo with Dargo. Sacrifice it to cast Peer in the Abyss. It runs LED. It runs Razaketh lines. It runs Underworld Breach lines. Like what? And Dargo has Trample. I don't know. It's a 7/5. I don't understand. I feel like Dargo is underplayed while being like an extremely powerful commander. That's all I got.
Okay, time on clock. Adam, you want to start or want me?
I can start. I like Dargo lists. I think Dargo's really cool. I don't know if Dargo makes like the top 10 though, and I don't think that it's like that good. I think that turbo decks fall into a really weird spot when it comes to like determining deck power, right?
Yeah.
Because turbo decks are good at doing that thing really quickly.
They have to do something else though. They have to not fucking stumble and fail.
Yeah, but Dargo does that. I think that Dargo is like a good piece out of the command zone that can really help you kind of like stay afloat and stay on top of things in the mid-range world. But I think that, in regards to turbo, it's really hard for me to evaluate certain turbo lists as like the best in the game. I think I really put Cody there as a representation of that archetype, but it's also like the best that does it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. I like Dargo a lot. I was talking to Keen about this beforehand. I like the idea of Dargo Thrasios just because you do all the dumb Dargo shit, right? But then you can neoform him into the whole Breaker horror. You make infinite mana, you Thrasios people, them out, whatever. Like, Dargo's a 7-drop, so you can immediately slam him into 8-drop, he makes infinite mana for the Thrasios. I don't know, I like Dargo. And also, 7 fucking attack is really powerful, because that's 3 bonks for a 21 commander hit. I'm with you. Yeah. I don't think that's spicy at all.
Go to bonk bonk. Alright, Kevin.
My fish.
Your fish.
Has begun. I'm bringing out a no stops, number 11, my boy, from the swamp. I'm just fucking with you. It's not Gitrog. We're bringing Rocco. I think Rocco is seriously number 11, number 12. I don't know exactly. That motherfucker is in the shadows, and I don't know why. Because, as Adam said, he is solved, but goddamn is it good. You tutor any fucking hate piece out of your deck. You tutor your combos. You're in Naya, which is a weird color for cEDH, but it's got red, which is arguably the best color. It's got white, which is, well, kind of a shit color. It's the best support color. And you got green, which is, like, the 0th best color. It's broken, bro. Yeah, I don't know. I like Rocco a lot. I mean, I liked Minsk a lot beforehand, and then Rocco came out, and I went, holy shit, this is fucking Minsk. Except there's also a goddamn Court of Calling attached to him. And he wins with Food Chain. This is dumb. So, yeah, my answer is recommend.
I really like Rocco. I think Rocco is unproven. I think it's solved. I think the deck is in a really good spot. I think we're about to see where it takes us. I would reserve putting it in the top 10 or in that top echelon of commanders just yet. I think we need to see it prove itself more and really develop as a deck. But I think that
Agreed.
I think it's one of the, like, if we wanted to call it now, I love what Michael's done with the deck. Michael Levine, who's done the, like, Stacks Food Chain variant of it. I know there's other lists that are out there that are doing different things, but I think that this deck is really fucking good. And until other people kind of figure out how to solve that it's solved, like they do with other lists, like Winota and Gitrog and stuff like that we're going to see it kind of run through a lot of games really quickly.
Yeah, but I agree.
Okay, nothing else to add.
No.
Awesome. Well, no.
That was the lightning round.
That was the lightning round.
Literally zero fucking spiciness at all. We all just... No. I could see you reeling back when I was fucking hyping up my man, Froggy Man.
I thought you were going to say pig. Yeah, I thought...
Yeah, to be honest, Rocco was
a farm.
I feel like, honestly, for all of your mono white comments, pig could probably slot in pretty well.
Yeah.
I like Gitrog as a 25 to 16 list.
Rocco was definitely a surprising pick for you.
Really?
Yeah, I did not see that coming. But now we can move to our cleanup. So, once again, we want to shout out all of our high-tier patrons. Thank you to Usable Object, Cold Ramen, and Geo Justin, respectively. And listen, Cold Ramen, just because, you main some certain characters that we don't like in Smash, it's okay. We will still respect you.
Yeah, homie, I'm fucking with you. Mad love, mad respect. All of you guys really keep us alive.
Support from our patrons has been absolutely amazing, and it's helping us continue to produce this content on a weekly basis, which we would love to continue to do. Make sure you follow us on Twitter for all of our channel news, updates, giveaways, and collaborations. A link to our Twitter will be in the description. Also, please join our Discord below. We have 150 members, and we are active daily. We pride ourselves on being one of the more community-driven content groups, and we love the feedback we're getting from everyone in our Sad Naus Discord. You can talk to us about episodes, get deck building advice, or just chat about your day. We'd love to see you there. And finally, whether you're listening on YouTube, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else, please like, subscribe, leave a comment, drop us a review, or share us with your friends. It really helps with growing our channel and gives us the ability to work with new people and reach new audiences. And with that, we will end this episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week.
See ya.
Go back.
Peace.